you ever tried baking cupcakes, muffins, or even bread, and for some reason it doesn't turn out the way it should be? And then you ask yourself, I followed the exact same recipe. Or did you? Hi, I'm Wado Siman, and this is a mini web series about baking and science. We are going to teach you the basic scientific processes about baking that will help you improve your skills. Welcome to Baking 101. Baking is chemistry, so it's important to use precise measurements. So if that fact alone scares the wits out of you, don't worry, I'm here to help. For this episode, we're gonna bake something that will get you out of your comfort zone. Bread. To be more specific, focaccia. It's usually topped with herbs or other ingredients. It's the perfect bread to make, especially when it's your first time baking. In this recipe, we are going to need 500 grams of strong or high gluten flour, 7 grams of yeast, 325 ml of lukewarm water, salt, extra virgin olive oil. Now for the toppings, we are going to use cherry tomatoes and basil, but basically you can add anything you want. You can add cheese, olives, and garlic. Now we start by mixing the yeast and the water. This process helps activate the yeast. Now the yeast is a leavening agent that traps carbon dioxide once it's mixed with the dough. It helps our bread to rise. Now it's important to use lukewarm water because when your water is too hot, you kill the yeast, but when your water is too cold, the yeast remains dormant. Now we're gonna just set this aside. Flour is composed of different protein components, and when water is added, these proteins turn into gluten. Gluten is what makes water and flour bond to form dough. Adding salt can help strengthen this bond and make the dough more elastic. Adding fat like oil, butter, or lard in the flour mixture softens the dough and helps in increasing the volume during baking. Now we're gonna form a well at the center of the bowl, and we're gonna pour our yeast and water mixture. And then we start mixing using a wooden spoon. Now if it gets tougher, you can start mixing using your hand. Okay, so now we can start kneading the dough using our hands. But before you do that, make sure that you dust the table with an extra flour, just so the dough doesn't stick to the table. Okay, so for kneading, this process helps spread out the gluten inside the dough. So how to knead it properly is that you can dust your hands first so that it doesn't stick. And then you start pushing the dough outwards, and then you fold it back in. So push it outwards and fold it back in. If it gets too sticky, you can add more flour. So you just repeat this process for 10 minutes or until the dough becomes a little bit warmer. So once it's done, we're gonna put the dough inside the bowl, which we're greasing with a bit of olive oil. And then we are gonna cover this with a damp cloth or plastic wrap. Now we leave it like this for 45 minutes until it doubles in size. This process is called proving. You can preheat your oven to 200 degrees Celsius or 400 degrees Fahrenheit while waiting. Now that it's almost double in size, you take a tray and add olive oil. Put the dough in it and spread it out gently. Add your toppings and drizzle with some more olive oil. Now let's put this in the oven and bake for 35 to 40 minutes. I've taken it out of the oven and let it cool completely. And now let's taste. It's crispy on the outside and really soft on the inside. And you see those air pockets left by the yeast? Fantastic! Next week, we are going to try something simple and sweet. If you want to find out the baking science behind that, catch us on Baking 101. So give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, share this video, and subscribe to us if you haven't. We hope you enjoyed today's class. See you next week. Thank you so much.